And a very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Issues and Attitudes. My name is Jeff Owens, Director at WEIU, Interim Director at WEIU, to be specific. My co-host is Annalicia Haynes.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back.
Possibly in her last semester or last year at EIU.
I don't know anymore. We'll figure it out, though.
Our scheduled guest today is Mr. Josh Norman. He's the Public Information Coordinator at Eastern Illinois University, as well as the Assistant to the Program Management, or Assistant of the Vice President to the Program Management. He's got a big ID, or a big, big title there. Josh isn't quite here yet, so we'll just ad-lib for a few minutes. If not, we'll continue playing some great music on your station, Hitmix 88.9 WEIU. But it's EIU is open. Charleston's busy. Classes are going on.
The students are bad when traffic is horrendous. Last night I couldn't breathe. I was so angry, and I'm like, move, get out of the way. But it's fine.
It's amazing. Like the 2-minute drive from here to the edge of town is now 4.
I know.
What am I going to do? But it's great to see all the kids back and the Eastern students back. Have you had classes yet today?
After this, I have my political science class.
There he is. Come on in, Josh.
Hey, Josh.
We're just what we call ad-libbing in the world there, buddy, my friend. So we'll put you right in the middle.
President's Council ran a little far over.
That's important, though. Yeah, that's important. So, again, we welcome our guest today. He is Mr. Josh Norman, among many things, Public Information Coordinator at EIU and Assistant Vice President for Program Management. Is that the
Associate Vice President for Enrollment Management.
Okay,
you're close enough. You're close enough.
I was trying to get there. That's all too. So we'll pull that mic a little close to you, Josh.
Sure.
So I guess welcome. We were just talking about how the semester is open and everything is going on. Talk about just the beginning of the semester, what it means to Eastern Illinois.
Sure. I absolutely love move-in week. It is just the best. And one of my favorite things to do is to get out on campus, specifically on Thursday, and just to help the students and their families move in. And I'm telling you, the atmosphere was just electric. The band was roaming campus. I mean, even the folks in Old Main were like, "Oh, you got to see the band out our front window." Like, I happened to hit the South Quad right as they're playing the fight song, and you could just see the Panther pride in these new students' faces. I mean, just awesome. I mean, carrying mini fridges up to the second floor of Weller, putting in a good sweat right side by side. I think I found a couple future tour guides in the process. I mean, it's just fantastic. Last night, convocation, the band is playing. You got faculty in 3 rows, and you've got those 1,400 students packed inside a Lance Gymnasium. It's amazing. It's so cool just to see them, integrating and even just our faculty and our staff and their hearts for these students. The president was telling a story in President's Council today, and I don't think he would mind me sharing it, but on Saturday, they had a little session where the students were looking for their classes. And so President Glassman was taking 4 students to Old Main to look for their math classes.
Yeah.
And in the process, there's a young lady sitting on a bench crying. And being the president that he is, he stops and says, "Hey, what's wrong?" And she says, "Nothing, I'm fine." And he says, no, really, what's wrong? And so turns out sometimes students don't make it for that Thursday orientation, our freshmen, and our transfers for that Tuesday orientation, and they come later. In fact, we have 25 students set to register today, which is like, whoa, you're past all those major events. And he said, he's having a conversation with her. She's connecting with these 4 other students. Like, all of a sudden she's smiling, and he's talking about resources for her to connect. And so I just think that's awesome. Like, when those students don't hit our standard timeline, and our staff and our faculty step up to make sure that they're integrated and they feel at home, from the president on down to our building service workers, we have an incredible culture here, and this is the best time to experience it.
That's a pretty good story. Hey, how do you top that? President Glassman helping out.
I know. I can't do any better, that's for sure.
I know at this time everybody's asking you the big question: when do enrollment numbers come out so people can, talk about ups and how much up and all that stuff? So give us an update of where we stand there.
Sure. We're expecting a double-digit percentage increase in our freshman class, and an increase in our transfers, an increase in our overall numbers. But the official numbers will come out on the 10th day of class. So today's the first day, so you can imagine it will be next Friday that those numbers will be calculated. And I know that you've experienced a few times.
I don't know what
But it takes some days to process all that data. So usually it's that following Monday or Tuesday when that gets released. We'll send out a press release and get it out on social media. So it's another exciting year for Eastern Illinois University when it comes to enrollment.
And you get to add 25 because 25 new are starting today, right?
Right, exactly. So that's always good.
That's my math help.
Yeah, right.
there.
Well, no, that's why it takes a while to get these numbers, is because there's some that trickle in and some that leave for
there's always reasons.
Yeah,
there's people have health or money or finances or family emergencies. But the other thing is they moved convocation to last night. Do you think that was a success, taking it from Friday to Sunday?
It was really neat to go from convocation to first night. I mean, that was really cool. I couldn't tell if the attendance was higher or not. It felt a little bit like a different event. I'd say, there's always room for improvement, but overall, I think it was a good event, and Susie Park our new faculty laureate, did an incredible job communicating just how important it is to get outside of your comfort zone, and just talked about the importance of it's kind of like the faculty laureate last year, Don Holly, to diversify your educational experiences to make sure that you're equipped in your professional pursuits. If you change careers or whatever, if you diversify, it allows you to have a lot more flexibility.
Yeah. The other thing that I thought was cool about this as we talk about the school year is the summer enrollment was also up.
Yes.
Right? It was up like 3-4%, correct?
Well, yes. Yeah, it was up 3%. So, we're really excited about that, and that helps the fall enrollment too. And 26 more freshmen than we had at this point in time last year. A lot of our football players coming in the summer. Coach Cushing, he doesn't play around. So those folks are up early in the morning practicing in summer, getting ready for the season.
They were here last week doing some social media pictures and stuff.
Oh, cool.
Those boys are in shape. I will tell you this.
I believe it.
They look ready to play. So Panther football starts a week from this Thursday right here on HIPMIC. So football season's here, college season's here. We're talking to Josh Norman. The other thing I noticed of the application process, anybody interested in coming to EIU, it's been free, but it's going to stay free until mid-October. So talk us through that.
Sure, absolutely. That's something. Accessibility is part of our mission statement. We're talking about accessibility to a superior education. And so, we were kind of looking at the mission statement and saying, how can we make Eastern more accessible? And you'd be surprised that $30 can be a deterrent. So I would say there are some students who are here that wouldn't be had we not had that priority processing free education process in place. So we're excited to do that again next year and just live that mission and provide that access for those students that might be an obstacle for.
What do you say to a student like Annalisa who's entering now? She's been through the process, first nights and going hopefully into your last year. We don't know for sure. We don't want to get rid of her, but she does have to graduate at some point. What do you say to the seniors who, as they kind of embark on their last year of college, and take it all in and enjoy it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, really, you only get to do this once. I think, as I think about my past and spending the time in the military, not getting to do the traditional college experience, there's some regrets there. And so that's just, you've got to make the most of it. I mean, there's so many opportunities on this campus between registered student organizations. I think Annalisa is an anomaly because she's so involved. It's a little crazy. I know her well enough to know just how well involved she is. I think she's a great example for what our students should be here, because that environment of opportunity is just incredible, and you can grow so much as a person and a scholar in this environment. And so just that senior year, you should be, you may be getting tired, you may be getting some senioritis, but you should be going hard because it's your last chance.
Your thoughts on
the senioritis is real, man. It is real.
But you were just saying off mic before you walked in that she doesn't have as much to do right now, and so she's already trying to find more things to do.
Yeah, I need to figure out what to do because I'm going mad. I was sitting at home today, and I was like, there's nothing to do today. And I was like, do I even want to go to class at this point? I'm like, okay, no, come on. Get going. So, but no, getting involved is definitely one of the most important things you can do in college. You embrace the culture of college, and which I love. Obviously, I must love it since I've been here for so long. So,
well, I met with 2 new students last week. They came to my office and they go, really, I can start next week? I go, yeah, get your books situated. Go find where your classes are, then come find me midweek, and we'll get you going.
See, and that's what's cool about Eastern. Now, because, I've toured at different schools before I came here, and Eastern's the only place where you can get involved, at least, for speaking for journalism, you can get involved as a freshman first day.
Yeah.
Or whether it's at the newspaper, WEIU, HitMix, and it's an incredible thing. I mean, not many schools do that. U of I doesn't do that. You have to wait until your junior year.
I think it's all over campus. There's opportunities available. Let's talk about some other things that I know that are important to you. Let's talk about the AIM High scholarships,
Sure.
what that is and what that means.
Sure, absolutely. That's, I think, the biggest shot in the arm for me is just to see our state legislators stepping up and realizing the 48% out-migration rate that occurred in 2016 is unacceptable. And I think AIM High is part of their solution, and I think it's working. As I look at our preliminary college choice results and students are saying, here's where I'm going, here's where I'm not going, we have a higher percentage of students attending Illinois public universities than we have had in 3 years. So obviously, those programs that were intended to keep students in the state of Illinois, they're working, and AIM High is a huge part of that. I think our programs are some of the most progressive in the state. Most schools have one program where we have three, and my favorite is it's the EIU Promise program. And the EIU Promise program basically means that we will cover tuition and fees for any student who makes below the median income in the average income in the state of Illinois. And so that's just been awesome, especially for me as I talk to prospective students and their families, and they don't believe that a 4-year education, 4 years of a 4-year education are affordable. And I just had an experience a few weeks back. As I think about it, I was taking my son to Steak and Shake just to have some guy time. I'm teaching him how to shoot spitballs because my dad did me. And he's like hitting me in the face, and I'm like, hey, same with water balloon fights.
Yeah.
No grill. And these people at this other table are looking at us, and I'm just like, oh man, okay, maybe we need to tune down the spitball fights. But the gentleman comes over and he says, do you remember me? And I said, you look so familiar. And he said, I was at the Future Panther tailgate just a few months ago.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, I do remember you. You guys are from Toledo. Like your daughter goes to Cumberland High School. And he was like, I just have to thank you so much. Like, we did not think Eastern Illinois University was a possibility. You just told us to apply. We did. And my daughter is so excited. We could not believe the amount of support that we received from the institution and the state. She is so excited. And he was like on the verge of giving me a hug, and I just gave him a handshake, and I'm like, well, excuse my son's behavior. He's like, don't worry, I've got several teenagers. He's like, just wait. So it was awesome. And I love that program because, again, back to our mission, accessibility to superior education, and it really lands on that. And so, AIM High has been an incredible opportunity for us as well as other public universities around the state.
I was going to ask you about success stories, but that was another one. So we'll go on to the MyEIU 2.0.
Sure.
It's up. What is that for the people out there listening, and why is it important to Eastern?
Sure. The majority of universities across the state and country are using enterprise solutions for their client relationship management systems. That's client relationship management system is the technology that students interact with, as they're navigating their college choice process. Well, at Eastern, we're lucky enough to have a homegrown product, which means nobody else has it but us. And so just this past year, we identified some things that were shortcomings for our existing CRM, and our extremely talented web services folks, including Nate Atkinson, Ryan Gibson, and the guy who impresses me the most is a presidential scholar. His name is Lucas Lower. He's a student.
Oh, really?
And he's an incredible programmer. He is so savvy. I am so thankful for the day that I met him because he has done incredible work as a student worker. And again, those opportunities that exist. I mean, he's getting, I can't even imagine what he's going to do when he hits the workforce. I hope we keep him. Yeah. But if we don't, he has just done incredible work. I mean, they've made the solution completely mobile friendly, completely redone our applications for every admitting office. It's aesthetically aligned with our brand. It's responsive. It's data dynamic. So when a student says they're interested in religious organizations, they get communication about religious organizations. When they say they're interested in scholarship, they're getting tons of information about scholarship. So this new MyEIU 2.0 is it is pretty fantastic. I'm really proud of the guys in web services because they did such a fantastic job on it, and it's going to really make it easier for our prospective students and their families to get the information they need to make that college choice.
Well, I was just going to say, is the Panther Mail update, is this part of that, a whole revamp that you guys did? Because I know when you open up Panther Mail, it's a new screen now.
Sure. Well, that's actually that actually lies within information technology services. So I'm glad they upgraded that as well. But that's great. What do you think of the interface?
Well, I think it looks great. I did a story about it over the summertime, though,
neat.
on the updating the application process and stuff like that. So, and what's incredible about it is that they had 2 weeks. That they had been working on it for a while.
Sure.
Right, but then 2 weeks, and they're like, we need to bring something to the Board of Trustees. Do you guys think you can do it? And they did.
It was such a short time frame. I mean, I just could not believe those guys did what they did in the time frame they had.
Wow. Now, obviously, the last couple of years, we've seen the increase and kind of the uptick in just the kind of the whole, hey, Panther proud, and things are, going well. But I guess you got to keep the momentum going. You just can't say, oh, we've done well, we're just going to kick back now. How do you keep it going with a marketing plan and to continue to get people to drive to make Eastern continue to get better?
Sure. I think the key is that you can't continue doing the same thing. You've got to innovate. And so that's why we have every year, with a consultation of Enrollment Works, which is a group of leaders across campus, develop an annual strategic enrollment plan. This year's strategic enrollment plan includes 83 action plans. That's 83 different ways we're going to innovate and we're going to create new programs that are going to drive new student enrollment. They're going to drive the retention and success of our students. And so every year I take that thing, I take it to President's Council, they review it, give me feedback, and then I take it to the Board of Trustees for review, and then that's kind of the final review, and then it gets turned into a SEP tracking document. And so then there's leaders assigned to every action plan and groups to get that stuff done, because obviously, I can't complete 83 action plans. Like, I need help.
How'd you go with the number 83? Did you just stop at 83?
No, that is just where we have 5 major goals that are part of the overall strategic enrollment plan. And so you're just always moving. I think sometimes the staff and enrollment management want to kill me because they're like, what we're doing right now is enough. Like, we can't handle much more. But it's just amazing. They're such talented and motivated folks that they find the time, they find the energy to get that stuff done. But you can't stay stagnant because the environment is dynamic and increasingly competitive.
And it's always rolling over,
Yes.
right? So in that aspect. I saw the neat brochure that's been hanging around a lot of doors and walls on campus, this top 10 reasons thing. Was that part of your ideas?
Yes.
I really like that. Talk about, for the people out there who don't know what that is, the top 10 reasons brochure.
Sure, absolutely. The top 10 reasons is a huge piece because it really creates that succinct messaging about what makes us stand apart in the marketing place. As I think about these prospective students, just the amount of direct mail and email and text messages they're getting, like, we've got to stand out. What makes us stand out? And there are so many things. You were talking earlier about being able to do research in your freshman year. You can't do that other places. Our textbook rental program, it's huge. Our 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio, the kind of individual attention you get here. We currently have the lowest cost of attendance in the state of Illinois for a 4-year university. I mean, these are things, it's not like 1 or 2 things. This is 10 things. When we talk about our alumni satisfaction, I mean, it's incredible. I mean, who wouldn't want to come to a place that has so many amazing attributes? And so that publication, which was put together by our marketing folks in communication with our communication planning group, it is so succinct and so good, and anybody can pick that up. And then when they're in an elevator at a baseball tournament and they see a 16-year-old prospective student, they can say, here are the great things about Eastern Illinois University. It's like a built-in elevator speech. And so that piece has so many different purposes, and it's just fantastic. I think the one thing it's missing that we've talked about adding is all the study abroad opportunities that we have here. It's just it's crazy the amount of places you can go. And so that and some additional stuff about our honors college. I mean, Richard England should be on there by himself, just his face. He's so great.
With his email.
Yeah, right.
Oh, he's great.
You can't. You'd have a top 12 or something.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Eastern. I remember one of the things they used to, when we were going through vitalization many years. Well, God, that was like 2 years ago now. Anyways, one of the things they said Eastern was a hidden gem, hidden jewel, right, of Central Illinois. So how have we come away from that statement, from that stereotype, I guess, which I guess it would be.
Because people used to use that as almost a positive, but then when you think about it,
we don't want to be
people
hidden.
found it was a negative.
So how have we come away from that?
So, that was okay. Being a hidden gem was okay 15 years ago, but we didn't have over 140 regional representatives in Cook and Collier counties from different states trying to recruit the same students we're trying to recruit. We didn't have out-migration rates that were 48%. We didn't have shrinking high school graduation classes. I mean, it has gotten so competitive. You can't afford it. You can't afford it anymore. And so we've really departed from that. President Glassman had the foresight to take 10% off of the top of the budget and allocate that money toward marketing. And so that every year has gone into our marketing budget for the last, I guess it's been this will be our third cycle. And even beyond that, like this last year, I thought, well, this administrative cost is ridiculous with our current partner. Let's see what other partners have to offer. And so we went out to RFP, request for proposal, and then a local vendor for media planning came up, much less expensive, which means if that administrative cost gets lower, then we can spend more money on the actual media. So it really is a continual process of how can we be the best stewards of every dollar and get that message out, not just to the prospective student, but to the influencer, because the influencer is so important. You'd be surprised about how many of these families, it's the parents that are actually making the decision on where the student is going to go.
When you were doing move-in last week and when you did it over the weekend, what do parents ask or talk about the most?
Sure. I just think about all the conversations that I had with students. And their parents. So often the parents are concerned with safety. I mean, you should see the look on their face when I say, 2 years in a row we were ranked as the second safest college town in America. I mean, it's just like, wow. I start talking about raising my kids here. You would be surprised, like, it doesn't really have anything to do with the college, but when I'm talking to them about that, they clearly value the fact that, like, I love this place and I love raising my kids here, and I think it's safe and it has incredible resources. That's great. They're asking about involvement. They're asking about internships. I mean, they really just, their passion is to see their students succeed. They're asking for support services. They're asking, okay, where's tutoring? Where's the writing center? Those sort of things. I keep thinking about, I don't know why I keep thinking about this particular student, but her parents were both alums of the graduate school. So neither had gone here for their undergrad.
Yeah.
And this young lady was a Golden Apple Scholar, and they're talking to me about registered student organizations. And she says, guys, I don't need that. I've already created a Dungeons and Dragons club with other Golden Apple Scholars on this campus. And I was like, way to go, way to take initiative. You don't have to find a club. You're making one for yourself. I love that.
But there is a Dungeons and Dragons so
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, we got
more
two.
you know.
Yeah.
Two's better than none,
Exactly.
right? Going back to high school a little bit, when you talked to, when have you found, it seems like to me students are making their decisions earlier than ever before. I remember it was like midway through my senior year, like, I guess I should decide where I want to go and what I want to do. But now it's like sophomores and juniors, I'm going to Ball State, I'm going to wherever. Do you find that that's across the board now?
Yeah, and that's part of the college choice surveys. We ask them, when did you start your college search process?
Yeah.
When did you make your decision? What I think is most interesting is not only are they starting the process earlier, like I would understand that, but what's crazy to me is like May 1 is like forever this special date when students are supposed to be making their decision. Well, the college choice data came back this year, and 48% of these students, which was over 1,400 students surveyed, 48% said they made their decision before December. Before December. And so, yes, it's happening earlier. Sophomores, juniors are already getting publications. Schools are ramping up their efforts, as early as freshman year. They're building out whole communication plans for freshmen in high school. It's all about getting that competitive edge. And so some of it is the behavior of the prospective students, and some of it is the marketing agenda of the institutions who are competing for these students.
So they're trying to get them on the outside of that
Yes.
bullseye instead of
Yes.
when they're on the inside of the bullseye
Yes.
making that decision. So a few minutes left with Josh Norman. Anything from you, Annalisa?
A lot.
All right, go ahead.
Kidding, no.
Anything we forget about what you're doing on campus to make this place better and to continue to make Eastern strive upwards?
Yeah, if I could just talk just for a minute about
Talk up closer to the mic.
Sorry. If I could just talk a minute about a moment I had in new faculty orientation, it'd be cool. New faculty orientation is like such a great opportunity because all our faculty who are new are coming, well, not all of them, but most of them are coming to this orientation. And part of what I prepared for them was a word cloud, okay? Came from the College Choice. Again, this survey is so valuable. I've done it for 5 years, and this year's data was just incredible. Prepared this word cloud. We asked these students, these 1,400 students, if you could identify Eastern with one word, what would it be? And it was words like supportive, like home, encouraging, valuing. I mean, it's just crazy. Like these prospective students get our culture before we even get there. But I'm communicating to the faculty and new faculty orientation, like this is their expectation. Like this is what we're delivering from a branding standpoint. This is who we believe we are, and this is who we aspire to be. Like we have to deliver this from the BSW to the faculty member to the president, and I think that was a great example of being all in. I think about that succinct messaging, okay? You see that all in everywhere, but really the centering idea is that if you come here, we will make an extraordinary investment in you, and that really is what we have to deliver on. We have to live that brand in order for us to stand out in what is it's a symphony orchestra, and we've got a single note to stand out in the middle of that song, and we've got to live that brand. We have to make our place in the higher education marketplace because it's not going to get easier. It's only going to get harder.
Good answer. Minute and a half left. Rapid fire questions now. Food you cannot eat. This is my new favorite question.
I can eat anything. I've got, from being in the military, I have an iron stomach.
So you answered that last week. So.
Yeah.
High school nickname, your mascot, or
They called me Storm and Norman.
okay. Now, what about your team nickname for that high school? We were the Green Waves. I have the double.
Okay, we were Trojans. I'm a Charleston High School grad. Yeah.
I keep thinking Texas. That's where you went to. Yeah.
I just suddenly feel the tension rising in the room. I don't know. We were the
We're going to
Cardinals.
beat them all the time. Doesn't matter now.
Oh, we'll see what happens
There
this
you
year.
go. We're only 2 weeks out. There you go. All right. How many countries have you visited?
Oh man, I just was not too long ago in Cuba. That was amazing. I've been to Spain. I think that may be it. Yeah, Spain and Cuba.
Wait,
Two.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. All-time favorite movie?
The Pest.
The Pest.
John Leguizamo. Yep.
Errol Flynn's my favorite actor, so anything with Errol Flynn.
There you
I
go.
love all his movies, like Robin Hood or The Seahawk. Love them.
All right. We're out of time. Thank you so much for coming in, Josh.
Thank you.
We're starting the semester at EIU. EIU is open. We're ready to rock and roll. The new semester has begun. Everybody have a great day. This is WEIU.